Okay, I hope this works. I want to show you some books. I've got the camera set up. I hope it's centered. I don't know. I'll do the best I can. This is a gem. Fundamentals of Diagramming. It's out of print, I think. I don't believe you can get it anymore. I've tried. But I'm going to flip through every page because I'd like you to be able to read it. I'm tempted to go like this to make sure you can read it all. I'll just flip fairly quickly because all you have to do is pause if you want to read it. And I guess I can only hope that I've got the book centered up well enough for you to see it. There's almost nothing in here that I would disagree with. Almost nothing. I don't know if I'll see anything. I don't really think I have to. I'd like to point out that a participle is done like that. Infinitive to or to err. So there it is. That is a gem. Now, along with it comes this fundamental. I would call that syntax, or fundamentals of grammar. This is also a gem. It's not as much fun because it's not. You don't have those drawings. Once again, as far as I know, it's out of print. But I'll flip through every page of this too. I know there's some British readers on a forum that don't really understand what we're talking about when we Americans talk about grammar. And I can't say that I would agree with absolutely everything that's here, but I think so, though. I think this is pretty good. This is pretty much the American version of grammar. The conjugation of verb to see. Notice that they name the verb by its infinitive, to see. There's a full conjugation of a verb. I sort of wish that they had done the verb to be or the verb to go because they're more interesting. A little bit about punctuation as well. This is a real gem. These books are gems. I'm doing every page so you could read them. All right. Now, and I should have shown you. This is the 94th day first video. This is a strange. Book. It's online though. I'm quite sure it's online. If you Google that, a key containing the diagrams of the sentences given for analysis, etc. If you put that in, I think you'll find this whole thing online. All these images. These are the answers that a student in America back in for about 100 years after 1877 on, if they were really good and they did their exercises in higher lessons in English, these are the answers. I think it's interesting that this was regarded as valuable enough to put online. So interesting. Here is Harmon and House. This is the book that I think it remains the authority really in the United States. I'm just going to show you a few spots in here, again hoping that my camera allows you to see it all and center it up. There's the table of contents. They deal with grammatical form first. This I call morphology, and then sentence analysis. This I call syntax. But their terms, here you can maybe read what they say about what is morphology and what is syntax. They don't use it quite the same way that I do. Here is where they begin the syntax after having done all that about the morphology. Parsing, that comes around a good bit. Let's see. And of course they use Reed-Kellog as a way to show what they're talking about. We get here toward the end, we've got an adverb clause. If, which starts there because it's capitalized. If he is not a college graduate, he is a highly educated man. Educated, you notice that they put that around the bend because that is a participle. That's a past participle. I had quite a bit of argument online about whether that should be considered an adjective. It's modifying, certainly. All right, a good book. Now, here is a gem. This is a gem. Sister Bernadettes' Barking Dog. This woman, I'll show you her at the back, Kitty Burns Flory, she has managed to capture the fun, the magic that was felt back in the 50s and 60s in diagramming sentences. I'm not going to flip through every page. This is in print. It should be easily available. There's the way diagramming was before Reed-Kellog changed it. There's one of the two guys that changed it. Here's a spot where she demonstrates that even a sentence, Noam Chomsky's famous sentence, colorless green ideas sleep furiously, that makes no sense. But the syntax is fine, as she points out. While I'm here, she points out that the confusion that's apparent here is gone when you use show that Bill is the appositive. Okay, I wanted to quote this directly. Gertrude Stein, famous American writer, a quote here. I really do not know that anything has ever been more exciting than diagramming sentences. I suppose other things may be more exciting to others when they are at school, but to me, undoubtedly, when I was at school, the really completely exciting thing was diagramming sentences, and that has been to me ever since the one thing that has been completely exciting and completely completing. And you can go on to read that a little bit if you want. Here's the British system. Well, I call it the British system. This is a system used in so much of the world, the part of the world that does not know Reed-Kellog. This is called, I think this is called phrase structure diagramming. Tree diagrams. The dog will chase the rabbit. Here I showed you the way that would be done in Reed-Kellog is dog will chase. There's the verb phrases, simple predicate, direct object, modifier. The dog will chase the rabbit. All right. Here is the last diagram that she has in the sentence, or in the book, I'm sorry. And there's a mistake in it. It's interesting. That should be capitalized, that A, because the sentence begins right there. A roomful of kids sat down with Sister Bernadette's barking dog and scratched it, where? Behind the ears. And she credits Eugene Mutot, or I don't know how to say his name for sure. I had told you earlier that I really think he's the world authority at present on diagramming sentences. In this book, she has got some really extraordinary sentences. She does that partly to point out that Reed-Kellog can even diagram terrible sentences, absolutely terrible sentences, but it works. I mean, if you're interested, I would recommend you buy this book. All right, one other thing to show you, two other things. This is student work, the cover. But when I taught this all the way back in '96, I taught first of all what I called grammar, because I thought morphology. This should read all the average person ever needs to know about grammar. There's on nouns, and I'll do this page by page as well, just in case you're interested enough that you would like to look at it. And I'm moving it a little bit. You'll have to pause it where it works best so that you actually see the whole thing. This is basically what I have taught in my class. Sorry to be moving it. In a way, I'm sorry to be moving it around, but I'm doing it so that you can maybe see the whole thing. There's the chart, or a version of the chart that I've used so much. All the average person ever needs to know adverbs, pronouns. Oops, that was too fast. Pronouns. Declension of the personal pronouns is very useful, I find, to teach grammar. Prepositions, conjunctions, interjections. These abbreviations aren't really quite right. And then after that, I turn to syntax. All the average person ever needs to know about syntax. Again, student work on the cover. There is the entire language of Reed-Kellog. I think the whole thing is there. And many, many abbreviations, because this was given as notes. Now, one thing I did want to tell you was that to make this more fun for students, I had a class example. Clegg, Jill changed. My example, whoever's writing this, Frank Fell, your example, and you would fill that in. I've done this in the past because it's more fun. The class, and then to try to keep it very rich. Spoiled Jill ran away. To try to keep it interesting and challenging, what we did was we tried to carry a story as we added each sentence part. There's that chart again. As a centerfold, positive phrases, subordinate clauses, noun clauses, objective complements. And I think right at the end of my class I showed there is that very strange sentence that has all the sentence parts basically there except for noun of direct address and an interjection. And I think this was maybe what I put at the end of a test to see if they could do that. Okay, I guess it's maybe going to be with this that I say my teaching of grammar and syntax is now over.